Good morning, friends. Welcome back. Okay, so this is our second demo session, and let us try to dig deep into the cloud computing concept, and let us try to understand what we have to learn in cloud computing, and what are the job opportunities we have, and what are the certifications we need to go with. These are the three major things we'll try to discuss today. Okay, so let me just go through the package again. Let me just spend another couple of minutes here. So this is a package here, friends. In this package, we have three courses: AWS administration, Linux server administration, as well as Windows server administration. AWS will be at 7 a.m. Okay, and Linux will be maybe before AWS or after AWS class, or maybe in evening also we can start any batch. So it's up to you when to join for the Linux server administration course. Both will be live classes, AWS and the Linux server administration. Whereas Windows Server Administration, like I said, I'll be sharing the recorded sessions. Okay, so this is your package where we have three different courses, and like I said, this is your offer as of now. New Year and the Sankranti offers, it will be only for 6,999 only. Okay, and all the recordings will be provided to you. Recordings of AWS, the live sessions will be recorded. Linux administration live sessions will be recorded, and each and every recording will be shared with you. Done. So this is something about our package. Okay. Remember yesterday what we said? We were discussing about servers, right? Like I said, your server is the most important part of our computer networks. Whether it is physical network or whether it is cloud network or a virtual network, whatever you call it as, server is indeed the most important part. Without server, we cannot imagine any business, any company network, or we cannot imagine even internet. Because server is a machine where we are running our applications. Server is a machine where we are storing our data. So at the end of the day, everything is connected to server, everything is related to server. Okay. Now, how many ways are there in which we can take a server? There are basically two ways. One is you can take one physical server, right? You can take a physical server. Physical server is something like your physical desktop or a laptop machine. Where we have all the components like motherboard, processor, RAM, hard disk, storage. All these components will be there. So we can go with a IBM company server or HP server, Dell server, or whatever. We can take any of this physical server. Okay. Or if you want to go with much better server, much better in the sense, much better in scalability, much better in reliability, much better in security. Okay. We can go with a server called virtual server. So physical server and virtual server. So we'll just try to understand the differences between physical server and virtual server, and we will see how we can take virtual server and from where we can take virtual server. Like I said yesterday, if you see the statistics here across the globe, when you do some survey, as of now, as of today, 90 to 95% or 95% to 98% applications that are running as of now are running on virtual servers. Probably 10 years before, 12 years before, 15 years before, majority of servers were physical servers. But because of cloud computing and because of a concept called virtualization, actually. Before cloud computing, there is a concept called virtualization, and then the concept of cloud computing came. What is virtualization? We will see in great details, hopefully in next couple of days. But as of now, I can say because of virtualization technology and because of the cloud computing technology, the majority of applications that we see over the internet, the majority of applications that we run on the internet, we are running on the virtual servers. See, if I say 95, 98, it is close to 100%, right? Okay, so this is the number of virtual servers we have as of today. Physical servers, running application directly on physical server is very rare. But when I say virtual server is actually part of physical server only. Virtual server is created inside a physical server only. Okay, but let me just take a very simple example here. For example, imagine we have 300 applications in our company. So if you go with your physical setup, physical server, how many servers you need here? You need totally 300 physical servers. Got it? You need totally 300 physical servers. But if you go with your virtual server concept, for 300 applications, you need 300 virtual servers, right? You need totally 300 virtual servers, or we can call it as virtual machines. But listen, my friend, to run these 300 virtual machines, probably we need, let's say, 6 or 8 physical servers. We need physical servers at the end of the day. Without physical servers, we cannot run our virtual servers. But the difference here is, if you go with the old traditional way, to run 300 applications, we need 300 physical servers. But in this virtualization concept, or in this cloud computing concepts, to run 300 applications, we need 300 virtual machines. But these 300 virtual machines we can create by taking 3, 4, 5, 6 physical machines. It depends on your scenario. You can take only one physical machine and you can create 300 virtual machines. That is also possible. But technically that is not good, because if that physical machine is down, all the virtual machines will go down. So what we do here, friends, we will simply take 2 to 4 or 4 to 6 physical machines, and in this 4 6 physical machines we can create all our virtual machines. Okay, so virtual machine is indeed part of our physical machine. Now, from where we can take a physical machine, we know this very well. We can simply connect to any you know any company's web server, like let's say HP, IBM, Dell. We can have a deal with them and we can take a server from them. Let me just show you few physical servers here. If I say, let's say Dell servers. See, it is showing you different types of servers here with different models and different prices. Here it is how much? 1,45,000. Here it is 3,24,000. There is a server which you can get in 72,000. Now, why this much different? 3 lakh, 1,45,000, 72,000. It all depends on the server configuration. So if you go with a laptop or a mobile phone, for example, someone can take a smartphone in 10,000 rupees, or someone is using a smartphone in 1,20,000 rupees. What is the difference between a 10,000 rupees smartphone and 1,20,000 rupees smartphone? Obviously, the features and the options and the speed and the performance and the support. These are some of the differences, right? So you're also same. When you go with a server with, let's say, 3,24,000 price, you'll get more resources here compared to a server which you get in, let's say, 50,000 or 70,000 or 1 lakh rupees. Okay. So if I go with this machine, see here, maximum memory supported here is 1 TB. Memory is what? Memory is our RAM. How much RAM we have in our laptops and desktops usually? 8 GB, 16 GB, 24 GB, or 32 GB, right? This is what we use normally. But in this server, 1024 GB of memory is supported. Okay. Maximum supported storage is how much? 192 GB or TB. How much? 192 TB. In our laptops and desktops, we have normally 1 TB or 2 TB, but here it is 192 TB. So for this much configuration, we have to go with this much price, isn't it? See, I'm not saying like in 3,24,000, I'm getting 192 TB. No, this is a maximum supported storage on this particular machine. So probably you may get like say 20 TB or 40 TB or 50 TB storage by default. But if you want to increase, you can increase up to 192 GB, 192 TB. So say like this, we can take any physical server from any company. Right now, this is your Dell. It can be HP, or it can be, Toshiba, Lenovo, or any other company. Fine. So these are the physical servers we can take. But like I said, you friends, physical servers running applications directly on physical servers is nearly an outdated concept. What we do here is, instead of using a physical server, we use a virtual server. Now, from where we can take a virtual server? Now, to take a virtual server, we have to go with any of the cloud providers. Like the most famous one is AWS, Amazon Web Services. It is a cloud provider. Amazon company provides you cloud services. Amazon company is there in multiple businesses like Microsoft and Google. They do multiple businesses, right? And one of the service they provide is the cloud services. So Amazon Web Services, or you can go with Microsoft Azure, or you can go with, let's say, Google Cloud Platform. I'm just naming three companies: Amazon, Microsoft, and Google. So these are the three companies that are more than enough for us to understand how big is cloud computing, right? Amazon, Microsoft, and Google. Do you know any company which is bigger than that? If there is any company which is bigger than these three companies, then most probably that company is also providing you the cloud computing concept. Like, some other companies are, let's say, DigitalOcean, HP, Dell, Juniper, Cisco, okay, Alibaba, Oracle. These are some of the other companies that offers you the cloud computing. But coming to the, market leaders, Amazon is indeed the number one cloud provider for last 12, 14, 15 years. Then it is Microsoft Azure, and then it is Google Cloud Platform. Now, let me just add one more point here. See, we are learning AWS. We are learning about the Amazon Web Services, right? So after completing AWS, suppose imagine if you get an opportunity to work on Microsoft Azure, or let's say Google Cloud Platform. Will it be easy, or can we work on this Microsoft Azure and the Google Cloud platforms? Listen, my friend. Technology-wise, it is same. Services-wise, they are same. The differences can be there in the practicals. So if you are learning something like virtual servers in AWS, virtual server concept will be there in Microsoft Azure, virtual server concepts will be there in GCP, and virtual server concepts will be there in all the other cloud providers. If you're learning about storage in AWS, storage concept is there in all the other cloud providers. If you're learning about, let us say, security concept will be there in all the other cloud providers. The only difference can be how to, configure them. Theoretically, most of the things are same in all the cloud providers. Practically, every cloud providers will provide you a different console. Okay, that's a accepted thing, right? So they will provide you their own console. So the options can be a bit different. Okay, so those are the options we need to understand that. But overall, if you know one cloud service, you can easily work, or you can easily understand all the other cloud services. So why people prefer AWS? One of the reason is it is a market leader. It is a leader in providing the cloud services. That is one thing. Second thing is they have, much better infrastructure. Third one can be they have better, certifications to offer. So these are some of the reasons why AWS is your most preferred technology, most preferred cloud technology when you start learning the cloud computing concept. Okay, fine. So coming to virtual servers again, virtual servers we can take from any of the cloud providers. Okay, we can take from any of the cloud providers. So let me just show you how we can take a virtual server. See, when we go with our regular classes, probably it may take 10 classes for me to explain all the details about the virtual servers. Okay, but as of now, I just want to show you a very basic demo. Okay, so that you can understand how easy it is to take a virtual server. Now, before I show you that particular demo, let me just come back to the basic question. Why we need a server, whether it is a physical server or a virtual server? What is the reason for taking a server? Now, the simple answer here is we need a server so that we can run a server operating system and we can run a application. Every application is connected, or every application is running on a server. Literally, every application on the face of the earth is currently running on a server. It can be running on a Windows server or a Linux server. But under the Windows server and Linux server, we have our server operating system. Okay, let me just take you through a different. Okay, I'll come to it. Okay, fine. So this is what it is here, friends. So see here, The first layer is obviously the server layer. It can be physical server, it can be virtual server. Then on top of this server, what we have the operating system. It can be Windows Server operating system, or it can be Linux Server operating system, right? And then we are running our applications and services. So when you come in a different order, like a user, you are connected to the application, right? You are connected to WhatsApp application, phone pay application, Google application. Okay. You're literally connected to any sort of application that you use in your company, or you're using in your mobile phone for that matter. You're connecting to an application that is running over the internet. You're connecting to the application that is running within your company. So as a user, 99.9% people over the internet are normal users, right? They're non-technical people. So people who are connecting to any application, let us say they are playing a game. So when they play a game, that game is a application for them. And where is that application running? Where is that game running? It is running on some operating system, and that operating system has some server resources. So it can be hardware resources, or it can be your virtual resources. Got it? Now let me just show you how we can take a virtual server. For this, first of all, I need to log in into my AWS account. So how to create a AWS account, how to log in into the AWS account. Probably it will take one session for me to explain all these details. Okay, so as of now, let me just say my mail ID here. This is where you should log in, and it is asking me to enter some MFAQ code actually. Fine. So I have successfully logged in here. Now, once I log in, you know what happens here? It will show me different regions. We call it as regions actually. Again, what is a region? What is the availability zone? How to select a region? How to select the availability zone? It will take one session for us. Okay, as of now, I can just say, see here, there is Hyderabad region, there is Mumbai region. AWS people are providing cloud services from these two regions, Hyderabad and Mumbai. That means they have data centers in Hyderabad city or Hyderabad region and Mumbai region. And beside Hyderabad region and Mumbai region, if you have to go with some other region, let's say Tokyo or Sydney, or let's say Ireland, Paris, Brazil, and there are 12 more regions which are available here actually. So you can select any one of these regions. Remember yesterday we have seen some data centers. Data centers are what? Data centers are your physical locations where AWS people have all the resources available, right? So there is a data center. So right now we have Hyderabad data center, Mumbai data center, Singapore data center, and many more data centers available. Okay, let me just go with my Hyderabad data. Okay, let's say Tokyo data center. I have just connected to Tokyo data center. Imagine we are working for a company which is there in Tokyo. I am sitting somewhere in India, somewhere in Hyderabad, but I have connected to the Tokyo data center, and I will launch a server in Tokyo data center. Okay, let's see how to do this. So once you connect to the Tokyo data center here, AWS will provide you many services. You can see all the different services here. Okay, there are certain services related to blockchain technology. There are certain services related to machine learning. There are certain services related to, some other technologies. So there are literally many services offered by AWS. Right now, approximately 200 services are offered by AWS. But if you go in history, let's say 5 years before, 7 years before, this many services were not there. And maybe in 2026, 2028, 2029, these services will increase from 200 to, let us say, 250. Simple logic. Whenever there is a demand, there will be supply. So the only thing that can happen with cloud computing is it will simply expand. It will simply grow. So more services will be added. More technologies will come. And according to technologies, more services will be added. Probably 5 years before, there was no option of machine learning in cloud computing. When they started cloud computing in the year 2006, it was majorly compute and it was majorly storage. Very few services were there in 2006, 2, 3 services were there. But right now there are nearly 200 services available, and probably they will simply add their services. And coming to this region, Hyderabad region, they started in 2022. Mumbai region, they started in 2016. 2016 is still recent, right? So in a country like India, they started a data center in the year 2016. So actually around 2015, 16, 17 only, the cloud computing demand has increased. Cloud computing is there from 2006. Amazon people are offering cloud computing from 2006. But the demand increased from 16, 17. There are many reasons. What are the reasons we will see? But as of now, let us just concentrate on our topic. Let us see how we can create a server and how we can connect to the server. So I have connected myself to the Tokyo region here. And out of all the services, to create a virtual server, I have to go with this EC2 service. Okay, there is a service called EC2. The most important service in cloud is your EC2 service. Okay, so here I will just say launch instance. Launch instance means create your own virtual server. Okay, so I'll say launch instance here. And I will give the name of the instance. Let us say first virtual machine. We can call it as virtual server or virtual machine, or we can call it as EC2 machine. There are multiple names, so we'll come to this again. Now, these are the options we have here, friends. Whenever you create a EC2 machine, these are the options you will get. Now, if you go with this particular layers, what is the first layer? Your hardware layer, and then the operating system layer. So without operating system and without hardware, there is no server, right? Whether it is a physical server or a virtual server. Now, here in the first two options itself, it is asking you to select your operating system and to select your hardware. So if I go with the first option here, see, there are multiple operating systems available. There is, Windows servers, Red Hat, Ubuntu, Mac OS. Amazon people are offering their own Linux operating system. Okay, SUSE Linux. And if you just click on this browse more AMIs, probably you will see some thousands of operating systems available there. How many? Some thousands of operating systems. Okay, so what I'll do here is, these are like, very commonly used operating systems. So I'll just go with this Amazon Linux. Just imagine it is a Linux operating system. Linux can be from Amazon, from Microsoft, or from any other company like Red Hat, Ubuntu, CentOS, Fedora, SUSE. There are different Linux distributions available. So I have just selected my operating system as my Amazon Linux. Okay, then instance type. Here it is asking me to select my hardware. You know what are the major things we need to have in a hardware? CPU, RAM, and storage. See here, I can go with a machine where, see the configuration reference, where we can have, let me just zoom in. Yeah, this is a server where we can have totally 768 GB of memory and 96 processors. Wow, this is a very heavy configuration. Now, why they are offering a machine with this much configuration? Obviously, there are certain applications, they need this much configuration actually. So we are not selecting this machine for our class for sure. We are not selecting this machine for practical purpose. 768 GB of memory is too high configuration, right? And 96 processors are too difficult for us to even imagine to use for practical purpose. So what we will do here is we will take only one processor and 1 GB RAM. That is more than enough. But in case if you need a machine with high configuration, you can simply go with high to very high configuration. Whatever is your requirement, that much configuration you can take. Okay, AWS or any cloud provider will offer you all the resources that you need. Okay, so let me just go back and take this machine as this one, T2 micro. See here, this is your T2 micro machine. There is one processor, 1 GB RAM, and the best thing is it is under free tier eligible. This machine is free for me to use. I can simply, use this machine for 750 hours per month. My AWS account is a free account, right? So there are certain things which are absolutely free. And one of the thing is your virtual machine. There are certain machines which we can use for free so that we can do some practice or we can do some testing and all those things. So I'm just used, I'm just using the free tier machine which is available here. Okay. So I've selected my operating system. I have selected my instance type, that is my hardware. Job done. Then there are some extra settings here. Like, there is something called key pair. I'm not going to explain you what is key pair as of now. There is something called network settings. In network settings, we need to learn about some networking concepts like VPC. We need to learn something about security groups. So probably this network settings will take around, 7 to 8 classes actually. I repeat, network settings will take probably around 7 to 8 classes. Okay. So as of now, I'll just go there and select some network settings here. Like I'll select a VPC and there is something called subnet here, public or private subnet, whatever. I'm just trying to, select some default settings which are available here. I've already created some firewall before, so I'm just using that firewall here. Done. Nothing else. So I've just selected all the networking settings what I need. But like I said, you friends, we will take at least 7 to 8 sessions where we will go with all the details of network settings. Okay. And coming to storage, as of now, it is having 8 GB storage. That is more than enough. How to increase the storage, how to decrease the storage, it will take probably 4 to 5 classes. Okay. So I'm not going to discuss anything about storage as of now. Now, at the end, it is asking you how many machines you need. Suppose if I say two, you know what happens here now? It will simply create two virtual machines for me. Done. I've just entered all the details here. I know each and everything, so I know what I'm selecting here. Probably after like 20 classes or 25 classes, you know everything about all these options. Literally, whenever you face interview, if they are asking 5 questions, only 5 questions, at least 3 questions will be there from this particular options actually. These are such important options for every cloud administrator. Okay. So I have just, selected all the options, whatever I need, and I'll just go there and say launch instance. So once I say launch instance, what AWS will do, it will say successfully initiated launch of instances. Means in the Tokyo data center, AWS is creating 2 instances for me. AWS has already created 2 instances for me. How much time it took for them? Probably some seconds actually. So within few seconds, a virtual server is ready with a operating system. Now what I need to do, I need to run my application there. So there is no headache of, bringing the physical servers, installing the operating system, maintaining the physical servers, managing the physical servers, troubleshooting them, power backup, cooling system. There are many issues we have already solved actually. So there is no need for me to worry about all these things. I can simply connect to the cloud provider. I can take the resources from them and I can pay according to my usage. The cloud computing concept is actually pay as you use or pay as you go. Whatever you pay, that much, whatever you use, that much you need to pay. For example, electricity. What we do, we pay every month some bill, right? So how much electricity you're consuming, that much bill you need to pay. Maybe last month you paid 1,000 rupees. Maybe this month it can be 600 rupees. Maybe next month it can be 2,000 rupees. It depends on the consumption, right? Here also same. Okay, here also exactly same logic. Let me just rename this machine. This is your second machine actually. So like this, how many machines you need, that many machines you can take. Okay, let me just show you how to connect to this machine. I'll just connect to one of the machine here. And here it will get some more details like public IP and all the other details. Let me just show you how to connect. That's it. Nothing else. So I'll just select some address here. Now I have to go to some place where I have some key. Yeah, this is the key. I'll just right click and say git bash here. Friends, what I did here, I have just created a server there and now I have connected to this server. If you know anything about Linux, if you know some basics also, you know what I'm doing here, friends. I have just connected myself to this server. Where is this server running? This server is running somewhere in Tokyo. I am sitting somewhere in Hyderabad, some thousands of kilometers away. I have just created a server and I have successfully connected to the server. This is which server? This is your Linux server. Okay. If I say cat etc slash os release, it shows me clearly. This is the command I have entered just now. It says the name of the operating system is Amazon Linux and the version is 2023. Okay. And again, I'm very sorry, friends. I may lose the connectivity again. I'm not sure what's happening in my locality for last 2 days. I'm on power backup for last 1 hour actually. Let's see how far we can go. Anyhow, so this is the machine to which I have connected, and you can see like this I can connect to